I was saying, good evening, everyone, and welcome to our adventures here in Ilhern. We're going to go ahead with our quick roll call, as we always do, to make sure our character sheets are open, our snacks are at the ready, and drinks are at arm's reach. Bella.
Oh, my drink's not in arm's reach.
Well, shoot. Riley. See, I didn't do it
Hello.
this week. You see?
Yeah.
See?
Good.
I made sure to change the name. Joe.
Cheers.
Ideal.
Hello.
And Union.
I'm Union.
Okay, we will unfortunately have Ideal, among other members, sort of filling in for Nami at the moment, as we send our best wishes and hope that real life stops being such an ass. But we're going to dive back into our little adventures here. Where we last left off, the party has arrived at Groffen, a small, well distanced from the lake, but still focused on a fishing industry village that the party has not really had a chance to explore and are already making ways to leave. Having come at the behest and understanding that an individual Union had made acquaintance with back in Innsland from his past, representing and wearing the iconography of a less than pleasant badge, this red skull that the imagery, I'm sure, does not trigger any other player at this table. Having arrived, the party witnessed first listened to a song floating across the hillsides before entering the town itself and finding a ethereal woman floating across the streets, soon followed by an attack of ghoulish undead on the citizens. A man dressed in finery arriving, giving some aid, though not arriving in such time that his blade need be stained with the undead, ran off and was chased by the party, found to be a bard of lore, marked with a Innsland badge himself. Party pursued, trying to figure out what the hell is going on. The whole time being told to bugger off, this is my story, and eventually the man disappeared. Chasing towards the lake, the party encountered the undead wrapped remains of some figure they did not inspect which, with flowers upon it in one of the wooden shacks. Followed very quickly by an attack of a banshee-like creature, very quickly putting down two of the party members at zero before the engagement even began. The fight flowed through fairly quickly, about 20 or so seconds only, and before the creature was dispatched, as far as the party is aware, having toppled the wooden shed onto the body, with it now on fire, eventually to be put out as, once again, the man in finery arrived, berated the party, stopped, and began to talk as if speaking at another group, not present. Nami, deciding that this would be a great time to follow up, as the party had made camp just a little ways away and had not exactly had her Enigma feeding session recently, dove for some fish and actually found the drowned body of this bardic individual. Returning to the party, relating the news, they, as a whole, you all went back into Groffen, met up with Limpy. Yes, because I totally have that notebook. I don't remember his name offhand. Once again, I'm so prepared. Again, food was far more important tonight. But met with several individuals who discussed plans to try and sneak into a camp by... Let me actually switch this to the other map here real quick. It shouldn't take me too long. To back. To back. To back. To Did I not? Apparently did not leave that up. Oh, hello, battle map. Where's our old map? Ilhern. Do it quick and dirty. How we do most things here. And of course, it's not on that map. Okay, anyhow. Because I can totally see. Rheindorf. There we go. I'm very good at doing this, guys, I swear. Rheindorf having been taken over by these individuals, one known as Orson, familiar to Union, and relayed the information of an artifact that they intended to destroy. With the upfront payment of 2,000 gold to each party member, their services were acquired, including the newly met Riley, a cleric managing to stumble across their path. We are going to dive now back in, here at Groffen specifically, as you have had your rest there this evening after having made your meeting, got your payment. So if you need to acquire any provisions, you have the time to do so. The inn that you're staying at itself, just this simple, no-name little bed for a sign swinging there on rusted iron rings. The food is all right. It costed all of a pittance to actually make the stay, but it's nothing to write home about. They don't get a whole lot of visitors. So if you have any provisions you need to get, your very basic stuff, rope, rations, etc., are acquirable at the general goods store. Otherwise, the crew that has hired you made it clear they want to leave very quickly and intend to travel at night, which was very pleasing to your fishy friend.
We were gonna go to Zealous' body.
Yes. If I recall correctly, everyone
But Nami!
but Nami was, so that's effective, yeah. Nami deciding that traveling at night right now was, please no.
What? Is any? I'm sorry. Did I miss what the drawings on the map signify?
That was
those-
that was from the
Our
combat.
houses.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, that was from combat. When you had fought the Banshee.
Right.
Because your GM really is a very tidy individual, let me tell you. So, with Ideal leading the way for Riley, it takes you the better part of the early dusk hours and going into the full night. As a party, you encounter little to nothing on your way. There's a stray field dog here and there that approaches, kind of watches the procession heading towards the hillsides. Before there, under the light of now the full moon, you arrive where first you had encountered the caravan that Bella, Union, and Joe had attended the party of. There you can see the remnants. There are wheel tracks and such, flattened area of the ground where boxes and such had been laid out. But otherwise, the caravan has moved on. So just over the hill, about another 5-10 minutes to climb your way up or make your way around, however you so desire. You come across the piled stonework placed by Union and your other companions in laying the large figure of Zealous to rest.
I will direct Riley to where Zealous is exactly and say, I'm not sure what you need, but here you go.
He was a good man, Zealous.
As you make your way around the pile of stones, you can see that there on the far side, opposite of where you've approached, many of the stones have already been pulled aside.
Ooh, as in someone was digging through it, or
Yep.
does it look like?
Oh, that's not good.
Well,
does
if they
it
were
look
looking
like
for
a
any
raccoon,
loot,
or does this look like a humanoid?
There's no one you see. You see the stones have been moved.
I will
Uh,
remove stones
No,
until.
I was just wondering whether it looks like this was a bear looking around for like meat, or if it looked like some person was digging through the rocks.
Best you can tell here on this rocky terrain is there's not a heavy amount of tracks left behind. You can see remnants of your own camp from the now distant evening. Um, the better part of the top left side from your facing, as if you're like at Zealous' feet, has been pulled aside to the point where you can see whoever did this didn't get a whole lot of progress. And it's hard to gauge how long ago this was, but it could not be that long. I mean, it's only been what, 3 nights, 2 nights, 2 or 3 nights now. But you don't see claw marks. There's no big spray paint. I was here. But you do see that the stones have been disturbed.
Should we check that he still remains
Yes,
there?
Yes, let's do that.
Okay. So who all is unearthing Zealous?
Wait, we're unearthing Zealous?
We're making sure all of his.
He's still there.
That, yeah.
I will help.
Is it? Does it look like?
Well, we're
he
gonna need
possibly
access
would
to
have
the
been
body
punished
anyway.
What was that, Scored?
before? Excuse me. Does it look like whatever was messing with the stones actually succeeded in unearthing him?
No. Uh, whatever it was didn't even make it all the way to the body. Just about like 3 layers deep of these small lake stones Union had acquired for you all.
Hmm. Unearthed Zealous for some reason.
Out of character, gentle repose.
So our intent is to resurrect.
Not resurrect. And eventually, that is the plan. Hopefully. But for now, give us some extra time.
Okay. All right. Well, if we're gonna be moving stuff, so okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Union
So
would
I
help
know
us.
Bella is, Union is,
I am.
Ideal is. Okay.
Yeah.
Riley, you intend to help as well. All right.
Yeah.
It with the majority of you, these were not very heavy stones. At some point, I'm sure one of you made the crass joke, just in case Zealous wanted to get up and take a walk. You didn't want to weigh him down too much. It takes about 20 minutes with the majority of you working through this process to be very, very careful and very solemnly. You eventually come to Zealous's resting form there underneath the. God, the word just. Every time I go to say it, just escapes me.
Karen?
Yes, thank
Barrow?
you. No, Karen is the piling of stones, so yes. And there, just as you
That's
had left them,
Alex then.
unmoving, the light in his eyes out in full. So Riley, in character, you get to witness it for the first time. I'm sure you are very aware of how Celis looks in your mental image. But you can see this ruinous figure, several markings of battle lashed across the body, cleaned up for the purposes of the resting ritual, the passing that Union had performed for you all, to get some sort of closure. And you have now access to the body. As yourself take the center stage, uh, Union, you can hear the scattering of earthwork there at the top of the hill, just north. Um, and as your eyes flick up, catching a little bit of movement, sort of someone kind of ducking back over and out of sight.
Did anyone else see that?
See what?
See what? Yeah.
I suppose not. There is a figure up atop that hill behind the trees.
As you watch, you can see Enigma slowly prowling his way up the side of the hill.
I will also start to slowly stealth my way up the hill.
How high is the top of the hill that he's talking about?
It would, all the way up to the top is 50 feet, but it has a pretty relaxed incline.
I will stay where I'm at
Okay.
and keep an eye from here.
I assume you need a stealth from me.
Yes. Is anyone else working up the hill?
Seeing that Enigma and Ideal aren't going at it, Union would stay back.
Okay. Ideal, you can't quite catch up to the displacer beast as you try your damnedest, sort almost following its path as it is picking the easiest of the terrain to work its way, winding up the hill. And as it's just about to crest. It pauses, giving you a little time to catch up, and you can hear the soft growl starting to roll out and issue from its chest. And on the other side, you could hear, "Oh dear, please no."
I will then say, who goes there, pulling out the scimitar and pointing it at him.
You haven't seen him yet. You're just now
I will.
behind Enigma. And as you arrive, there is a small youth, very lean. His clothes hang off of him almost as if he's little more than just a wire hanger at this point. And he's trembling at the sight of as the several enigmas as far as his brain is able to process the multitude of positions the displacer beast is in now that is in a sort of hostile pose. Doesn't even seem to register your coming up until the glint of the moon hits your scimitar. Oh gods, please, I didn't mean anything by it. I just
Who are you? Calm down. We won't hurt you.
I gotta see if he falls off the hill.
Okay. So does that make this conversation real quick?
He tumbles back about 10 feet before managing to catch himself, and you can hear a grunt as he slams into a rock. Oh, fuck me! Why?
Who are you, kid?
He's yelling down at him.
Yep.
I didn't mean no nothing's by it. I swear. I was hoping maybe you buried with some coins. Please.
He has no coins. If I were you, I would leave and never come back. That means it's thaumaturgy to make my voice boom.
So you can hear Ideal threatening someone as it booms across the hills, and you can hear several echoes as it slams into the terrain and bounces again. goes to rise up, and you can see he favors one leg over the other, and he starts looking around. Up there at the top of the hill, there's a crutch that he unfortunately did not fall with, and he starts to
I will
he
toss
looks
him his.
towards it, and as it
I
comes
will
flying
toss
at
him.
him, he will try to catch it. This poor lad.
He shouldn't have touched Arcellus.
He manages to fumble. He actually ends up falling over. You realize that they're from about um, halfway up the thigh of his left leg is completely gone, and there's it looks to be some kind of just a stump attached to it to act as some sort of balancing, but it's not very good. And he quickly grabs at the crutch and unfortunately topples over. Please, I'm I'm, I'm so sorry. I'm starving. Please, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I would never.
I'll reach into my bag, toss him a rations, make that last. Because the
Scrambles
next
for
time,
it and holds it tight.
if there is a next time I see you messing with this, Karen, I won't be so nice.
I promise you. I promise you. Please.
Wide smile with the red eyes.
It flickers in the moonlight. He's, may the night lady watch over you. And he begins to scurry away.
Do I know who the night lady is?
History check. Oh, excuse me. Religion check.
Nope. Maybe.
Nope.
Okay.
It's one of those you've heard several references to various things called the Night Lady.
It could be one of several deities.
It's not even deities alone. Strong characters in plays, and literature that it pops up here and there, referencing typically a broad spectrum of perhaps one of the nighttime figures or figures of gentle passing, um, not heavily worshipped in regards to any of the deities that pop up in mind, but you could see a place where it might be a deity.
All right.
Very similar to sort of the domain of the Raven Queen would draw to mind, but otherwise,
Okay.
it could be.
That was one of the ideas in my head.
Yeah.
Like, there's a couple of that level that fit.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's familiar, and at the same time, it's like maybe this guy just read too many fantasy books, and it's just in his head. But he is very, like, you can see his mood shift from terrified to beyond grateful as he holds the food, and he calls out, Becca, please, come on, we need to go. And this small child comes out from behind one of the rocks and staggers up to him and starts helping him up. Thank you, mister.
Welcome. Sword goes back in the sheath.
They start to walk away. Papa, you smell like urine again. He was really scary, okay? Let's go.
I will head back to the party. Come on, Enigma.
Enigma's watching. You see the tentacles sort of lax as you watch the two walk away.
About as lax as he gets.
Well, I mean, you've seen him lay them full back and against his body, which sort of has, at this point, you've dictated he has no intent to do anyone anything, and he's more the playful feline at that point. But this is, I could eat that. And he's watching, looks at you for a second, looks back, sees, watches the man, turns and pads back towards Union, with now leaping bounds down the hill, leaving you in this dust.
Union sees Enigma and just for the briefest moments wonders if this is how he dies before the cat.
Just boom, boom, boom. The tentacles flare out and just start lashing your face off.
Like, Enigma, oh, what, God, why?
But no, it comes down and it just sort of peers into the cairn, and makes its way and rests there by the lake where it was last fed, sort of once again ignoring the party.
Going to need to get him some more fish.
But there you have
As
it.
I
Go ahead.
as I wonder back. Oh yes, because he is incapable of hunting on his own.
Look, he did a good thing. He killed some bandits for us. I can get him some fish. I do not think that it's an exorbitant price to pay.
Riley, this whole time you could have at this point casted your spell, or you're waiting for everyone's presence. It's entirely up to you.
Well, once I figured there wasn't a threat, I would have started.
You don't tell him anything other than you just yelled at someone.
Yeah, pretty much. Was a kid.
Are you yelling at children?
Because he touched my friend.
Well, I suppose it is a good thing you went up and not just an Enigma then.
Exactly.
You good boy.
Also, what fun is it looking like this if you can't flaunt it once in a while?
You raise an eyebrow.
So
Turn back. Right.
everyone turns their attention as Riley, you step there to the foot of the cairn, and under your breath begin reciting a practiced prayer of your order. It takes a little time as while the spell itself is casted instantly, the depth of attachment. Everyone kind of can feel the air shift, dropping first just a few degrees. It's almost mistaken just for perhaps a breeze past that was just so gentle you didn't feel it. Then it drops again about 10, and then 20 degrees. It becomes chilly and chilly and chilly. Which, for most of you tieflings, not a big deal. Joe, you definitely notice it, even as your uh, warmed liquid still works its way through your veins. Um, as you issue out your gentle repose spell, just very briefly laying a hand, making your way to the top of the cairn and placing it on the Warforge, you know it is a successful cast, even though you had your doubts, being told it was this man of metal. Reservations had taken you for a moment, and as you draw your hand away, there resting is a black feather. Joe's over there starting to strike up the remnants of the wood y'all had gathered. And about the time you get it started, Joe, the air's temperature resumes and slowly wakes its way back to the balance of the natural order. Um,
Right, so I assume we're gonna stay here tonight? Since Joe's already made a fire?
it just now catches.
Well, what's McCulloch's? They wanted us back, didn't they?
They wanted us back tomorrow. We
Was
probably
it
have enough
tomorrow?
time to, yeah.
Oh, well, I'm fine with sleeping.
I will make the dome and all that.
Okay.
Has it, out of character, has it been long enough for us to take another long rest?
This would be the long rest that I was referring to,
Okay,
as this particular decision had slipped my mind.
no problem.
So, settling down about center where the camp was before, um, I'm safe to assume you all take the time to cover. Unless, what are you doing with the cairn? Well,
I would say recover.
okay. Duly noted, Bella. Okay. So taking the time after getting the dome up, I'm assuming you made sure that it was included so it could not be disturbed in the evening. Kind of having Zealous there with you. Now, for the mechanical aspect, Riley, do you recall that this would only extend, well, I believe it's 10 days onto the time
Yep.
you have available to get the next tier, the one just about out of your reach as far as power goes, cast upon this body. So it's a matter of whether you guys decide to bring with you for more castings. It can be cast repeatedly. You would be informed, but otherwise, you would have, doing the quick math, 16, 15 now. No, 16. I was right.
It was. I don't know. Wait, was it 3 days since Celestine thought we made it to Groffin?
You made it. You camped the night it happened.
Yes.
You made it to Groffin.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so you would have camped there because you camped at the lake. And then, so you would be going into your 17. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll go back and sift through the last like 4 sessions real quick, because I meant to make little tally marks and I didn't. But we'll go and we'll start off with 17 on the. It's more likely 17. Going into your 17th day. So if we're keeping track of when it happened, technically the 17th night is when it matters. So yeah, 17 nights, we'll say.
17 nights since when?
You have 17. You have 17 nights to either recast Gentle Repose.
Oh, okay.
Or get him revived. Because you had 10 days and you're now taking your 3rd long rest since it happened.
Makes sense.
So 17 nights. Because it happened at night. No, it's 16 because it took 1 long rest before y'all even found the body.
Yep.
I knew there was one more. All right, sorry Zealous, we love you. So you have 16 nights. There we go. But eventually, a lot of you gather to proceed with this evening's rest in full, recounting and as you so desire, for drifting away and getting some sleep for those of you who intend to. As briefly pan to Nami enjoying a absolutely beautiful roast beef.
Oh,
Just like that crackling skin with the perfect gravy. It's delight. You rise the following morning. Joe, do your roll if you'd be so kind. As we are kicking off the next day, it's a little later than you would have liked in order to get your full rest. It was about midnight when you actually settled down and got to rest.
Just to be clear, this is the rest that I had already rolled for.
Did you roll one at the end of session?
I can't get the session.
Sorry, that was choppy on my end. Say again?
I said it's impossible for me to get a better roll than what I rolled at the end of session.
Scrolling through, making sure. Yeah.
Because that was for when we took the long rest at the end of the session.
That was the long rest at the lake. But that would have been about
Right.
midday. So yeah, that'd still work for you.
Well, that's what I was asking. 'Cause you can only take one long rest per
Yeah.
24 hours.
Yeah. So as you rise in the morning, your campfire still stoked by Joe and his wide-eyed, sleepless nature. You hear the shuffling of the animals just outside of the dome as it begins itself to fold back on the focal point next to Ideal. There, the fog quickly closes in over the party as it rolls off the lake, a very soft breeze moving northward. Every now and then you could hear what sounds like oars breaking the wave, a few calls from one what sounds like one boat to another. Just sounds like just fishermen calling out to get the day started and sort of finding their spot. It's that floats over the water. Hard to say how close or far with how the sound is traveling, but you rise, gather your things, and return to Grothin. There, you are reunited with your fishy friend, who informs you that you missed out on the absolutely best blueberry tart breakfast he has ever had. She saved one for Bella.
Oh,
Um, I was gonna have a roll to see if she would eat it, but she saved it.
that's very nice.
Whether it's poisoned or not is entirely up to her.
I'm just gonna swallow it down.
Yeah, it's lost some of its appeal. It's definitely one of those. If it was warm, this would be amazing. But it's still very good. Not quite as good as the old lady back in Insulin. Um, oh, and as you take about your third bite, there's a sudden alkaline taste to it, followed by a faint taste of sharply tasting like almonds.
Am I being poisoned?
Nami.
I don't. That sounds pretty good, actually.
Nami's
Like,
eyes pop. Yeah,
almond,
blueberries and
blueberry.
almonds with a little alkaline, like lemon tartness to it.
I mean, almond blueberry taste sounds pretty good.
I'll go with walnuts over my almond. Not walnuts over my almond muffins. My blueberry, thank you. I don't know. Bella, you feel fine, but there is a sudden panic as not for you, but the old lady's like, hey, that's the cyanide.
Cyanide?
Yeah, the old lady in her head starts freaking out because,
I'm gonna get a glass of water.
Walk up to the counter and ask for a glass, and the whole time you haven't killed over, and the old lady's like, wait a second. You take another bite, it's perfectly fine. None of the extra tastes are there.
Did someone Presty it?
Nope. Unless that somebody was named Joe.
You're welcome to roll insight as you look around. See if anyone's watching you suspiciously. You can't help but catch there are several people who are smiling. Several having general gestures in your direction. Um, and as you start watching your party, even Ideal, like, well, he says, yeah, it wasn't me. Maybe Joe did it. I was like, I bet you he's trying to kill you. The old lady says in the back of your head. Your eyes
You
then
think
fall.
everyone's trying to kill me?
Everyone is trying to kill you.
You're not wrong.
Your eyes fall on Union there for a second. You haven't seen him cast a spell before, but you have been bringing up that he has a pretty shady past. And then you can't help but catch Joe's lip twitching into a smile that he's trying so hard to hide.
Well,
do with that as you please.
I'm going to throw the rest of my muffin at him.
Joe attempts to catch the muffin.
It's a tart for the record, not a muffin. So I need a
Joe is disappointed.
improvised dexterity attack from Bella.
Improvised dexterity.
From Bella, because she's throwing it at you. So that would hit you. So a dexterity check to attempt to catch it.
Dexterity check, catch it.
You managed to catch the tart.
I take a bite out of the tart.
It's delicious.
I'm going on strike.
And then he follows up saying, almonds.
Why would you do that?
And
What?
Joe finishes his breakfast.
Wow. Okay, so that happened. Meanwhile, you can hear you guys done having fun without me? There's
No.
the shorter lass that you had met.
The one who could probably stab us in our sleep and we would never know it.
The one who really wants to.
Fair.
Like, the one who's kill you later is an acceptable and endearing term. Still hard to get a look at her. She does have her hood pulled up, hiding the majority of her features. But now that she's not standing on crates to be up to the table, you realize she's really short. Like, Nami is actually significantly much taller than her. So either a very young girl or one of the wee folk.
I believe we are.
Indeed.
Well, they're waiting for you north of town already, impatient as they ever are. I'll be riding ahead. So, you're welcome to ride with them, or if you're feeling a little more frisky, you can ride with me.
Yeah, why not? What do you think, Ideal?
And raise an eyebrow.
Sure.
I can't take all of you now. I'm gonna be going pretty quick.
It's fine, just the two of us.
Okay. Got mounts, yeah?
Yeah.
Wonderful.
I assume we're already on them.
Well, you're in the inn
Ah.
at the moment.
Okay.
She's come to collect you.
Okay. I'll get
That's
them
an
out.
ominous way to put it.
Just following orders. He does like his orders. Not so much fun. Anyhow, to the rest of you, they're waiting just about an hour's north of town. Just before you hit the third hill, the one with the sort of white tree sticking out of it.
We will head there then.
Okay. Right then. And she slips out of the door. Ideal Bella following after. She waits by the mounts, but you don't see her go and grab one of her own. But you can see she starts her hands moving very quickly, placing upon herself several enchantments. And as you get your horses off the tie bar, the young boy kind of still rubbing sleep out of his eyes, even here in the later hours of the morning that you've arrived. Oh, sorry about that. I meant, good. You got oh. Please don't tell Erison. Please, please, please. I was awake.
Tell him what?
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 Um, Horses are saddled up, ready to go, and she looks ready then. Pulls what looks to be a silver chain out with a ring on it. Gives it a kiss. It flares for a second, and you see she starts to sort of vibrate with energy and darts out of town very quickly.
What's with these people who just run? This is the second person now.
Oh.
Oh, let's go.
Yep.
Let us follow.
The lot of you stepping outside see your two companions and the figure rushing out of town. She doesn't go due north. She breaks and starts heading more northwest.
I thought we were told to head to the tree.
She did say, unless you want to ride with me.
Yeah, me and Ideal riding with.
I'm sure nothing bad will happen to them.
Before we leave town, I need to purchase a new mount. If you guys can wait, probably an hour. I can go and check out at the local stables.
As you're standing outside the young man, we don't really have one of those, but Farmer Lawrence, just west side over there, running the mill, he might have one. It might be a little lame though.
Well, do you have other mounts?
I just tend to what the folks bring in. Let's see. There's a breeder what stops by every now and then. Again, probably be up there with Lawrence. He's got really the only housing for him in the area. We tend to use boats more than horses.
Well, the
Robot.
Yeah.
Robot.
You're clear now.
If you think the farmer might have something that would work, I will go and speak with the farmer. If the party will wait for me, I would prefer not to continue to ride double with everybody for the remainder of our contact.
Yeah, he gives you quick directions. It takes about 10 minutes. Just quite literally on the just on the east side of town.
Okay.
The poor boy, he kept saying west, and you have to keep correcting him. Even though he's clearly pointing east. Like sense of direction is not really good with this lad, but he does give good enough directions that you do come across. It's a humble field. There you can see a one-story wooden structure functioning as a house. Two others, a barn, and what looks to be a coop of some sort. Coop.
Okay.
Like a chicken's coop. Where you can hear the cackling of fowl already. At this point, it's about 11 o'clock or so. Has anyone gone with him, or you're all traveling together, or have you all started making your way to the meetup.
Union would go with Joe, just so they can go at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, he can come if he wants, but I'm more than capable of negotiating my own.
Either way, you arrive there to find a middle-aged man. Hair is tied back out of his face for clearly for work purposes. It's um, wearing like a little overall getup. There's a couple hammers hanging off of one side. He's in the middle of carrying a pail of feed, making his way around the building, just out of your sight. Otherwise, out in the field that is currently empty, you can see there is another much younger fellow, probably 19, 20, that is currently pushing plow through and getting the field tended to. By the time you make it up to the buildings, a woman has actually stepped out, and again, middle age, sort of salt and peppered hair, tied up in a very simple, just got up for the day kind of bun, wearing a simple blue dress. Hello there.
Hello, lady. I was told that I may be able to purchase one of your animals to use as a beast of burden / mount for our travels.
Oh,
Can I speak to you about that, or should I speak to your husband?
I, she, sorry. He just stepped around back. He'd be better to talk to you. I could show you the animals. We do have a few left over by my uncle. Some of his breeding stock that he told us to try and push along, so to speak.
Sounds good. Again, is that something that you would be able to negotiate, or should I seek your husband?
If you'd be so kind, like I said, he's just around back. If you need anything, I've got some stew, some drink. We're glad to have visitors.
Oh no, I'm fine. I already had a Danish this morning.
I would pay you an appropriate amount for a bowl of stew this morning, my good lady.
Yes, by all means, keep her company. I will go and speak to her husband.
You are being very weird about the husband, Joseph.
What?
You're being very strange.
Obviously, I know how to handle it on farmers. They obviously like to negotiate their own prices for their animals. Uncles or not. He says as he grumbles.
Yeah, as you're walking away, she steps aside. She's gone about 2 minutes before she comes up with a very simple chicken stock stew.
How much do I owe you for this, good woman?
3 copper will suffice. Get you some fresh water out the well, if you'd like. That no charge there, just the 1 cup.
That would be lovely. Here, I push 3 silver into her hand.
Blink, blink, blink. Thank you. I'll have your change in a moment.
No. You keep it, my good woman.
Blink, blink, blink. I'm not that kind of woman. Walks inside and slams the door.
And bless you.
Her face was a little flushed as she was given what is a significantly larger sum of money than she had requested. By this time, Joe, you've stepped around and you can see the farmer is in the middle of throwing a bucket over into a pen of pigs. Very noisy bunch. You can see there's 3 large, well-fed beasts there. Doesn't even churn as you approach. Oh, there.
Evening, sir. I just spoke to your wife. She said that you might be able to assist me in procuring a mount for my
Physically
adventures.
pauses that starts looking up at the sky. God, I hope not. All right, I'm not that. Okay, good morning to you. Yeah, sets the bucket down. Uh, Wipes his hands on his pants and turns. You can see he's again a fairly plain fellow. A simple cropped beard against his face as he approaches you. Sticks his hand out for Farmer Lawrence. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. And you are
Just call me Mr. Trenta.
Mr. Trenta. Pleasure. Do you shake his hand?
Sure.
Okay, it's a firm grip. I've got three of my uncle-in-laws. Still weird to say. He just dropped off just the other day. If you're welcome to take a look at them. I've got two mules, and a draft horse if you're looking for burden. The mules, I will be up front with you. They're not working for a reason. They've seen they're on the later end of their years.
Getting up in years, huh? And a draft horse, you say? Well, I have issues with riding horses. Do you have anything that might be considered uncommon for a mount?
For a mount, I couldn't really say.
I mean, it needs to be big enough to at least carry me, but I'm not exactly a heavy gentleman.
I mean, I'm afraid we've got fairly plain stock here. Just what Uncle brings in and drops off from his. He breeds a little more eastwards, a couple days ride. If you're looking for, he might have more exotic beasts of fare. He was talking about some bear out of the mountains that he's been trying to break.
That sounds interesting. You say a day?
Oh, it's I mean on foot or it'd be about closer to about a week or so. Terrain gets a little rough heading that way, but mounts about half a week or so. Depending on what steed you have. As I said, if you want to take a look at my stock, let me know. If not, I really need to get back to work. I'm a bit behind on the errands.
I'm not going to lie, sir. I'm very intrigued about a broken bear that might be
He didn't say he
potential
broke it
mount.
yet. He's been working on it.
I mean,
Finally got a damn saddle on it last time he was here. I want nothing to do with it. The guy's a madman. Let me be honest with you.
well, you say the mules are pretty overaged.
I'd say they're beyond working. I don't want to sell you.
Maybe we
can
can make a deal for one just for me to use it for the purposes of getting to a potential bear mount.
Right this way. Show you what I got.
Sure.
One moment, turns, picks up the bucket, and finishes throwing the rest of the slop in. All right, y'all eat up now. Bloody moochers.
I'm not going to lie. At this point, Joe will be looking to see if any pigs are large enough for riding.
If you were just a little shorter, the boar probably would.
I probably would have. I think I already, out of character, I already knew the answer, but
yeah.
I mean,
he sees you looking, he's like,
that sounded interesting.
Don't get any funny ideas, sir. As comical as that would be, they're definitely not beasts of mounting purposes in any fashion. Looks at you with strange eyes. He leads you around the building where Union has a bowl of stew.
Union,
Good
my good sir.
morning. Yes, Joseph.
Ah,
That bowl looks so tasty. I hope you enjoy it.
don't tell me you do it again.
I'm not going to eat the bowl. I'm just eating the stew.
Well, that would be smart. Um,
Damn you people.
I have a bit of an adventure I need to go on. The gentleman here is going to show me a few mules so I can go and visit his uncle. But unfortunately, this is not going to take the hour that I thought it was going to. It's probably going to take several days for me to procure a mount. I know that the rest of the party is already committed to a rather committed contract. Um, so I will understand if you decide to go back with him, but I must fulfill this contract to the end in searching for this mount.
Joseph, we can find you a horse.
The man for the record is made his way to the barn, not stopping for
Yes.
your conversation.
Oh, I know. I need to make this conversation. I completely understand, and I understand from your point of view. I mean, after riding an elk, I'm sure you would never ride a horse. Am I correct in that?
Well, it's certainly a different experience.
The elk
Exactly.
stairs.
Um, I have, I have the what's the word I'm looking for?
Opportunity?
No, not really. Opportunity is not really the word I'm looking for. It's more of a the 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 potential for something great. Um, even if it turns out to be um not possible, I have to I have to go along this path. And I understand that that may leave you guys lacking in my uniqueness, but it's going to take me at least a week to to ride out, find out if this mount is going to be as great as I hope it to be, and then for me to ride it back.
Well, Joseph, I do not know if. I mean, you met our companions last evening. I do not know if they would
Oi!
wait a week.
Go ahead. You coming or not? I got more work to do.
Yeah, just shine them up, make them look pretty. But, I need to go see these mules, but just let the rest of the party know that when I arrive, um, this mount should not be fireballed, and I will leave it at
Union is utterly perplexed.
and I will go to see these mules.
Stepping aside, you are greeted with the standard smell of hay and living creatures one expects within a barn.
The standard smell of
The
creatures within
standard
a barn.
smell of living creatures.
Huh.
There you can see are a pair of mules. They are visibly significantly well within age. Um, they putz around. It looks like he's sort of pulled the wall out of to put two of the like sections together so these two can stay together. Um, that's Dartha and that's Squints. What are you eating? The donkey kind of the mule sort of like looking over backing up. Hey, hey, Leary, Leary, what you eating? I didn't feed you yet. You hear chomp, 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 chomp. Patrick, the hell did you give Larry today? Oh, just an apple. He looked hungry. I told you not to eat him outside of his feeding times. I know, but he just gave me that look, and I had to. Swear to God, Larry. Swear to God, this is gonna be. You're gonna die. You're gonna die from overeating. Anyhow, that's Larry. That's Dartha. Um, they've been with me since they were fowls. Raising up myself. They are hard workers. I just don't want to stress them out too much any further. Uh, um, other than that, I've got Kieran, the draft horse over there. He's sturdy stock. Again, he's just not working the day. Patrick's got some he's got some punishment to work out, and I got to add some more to it. Wouldn't mind letting him go. Like I said, I've got my boy to do most of the work we have him do, and we are getting a little out of season, so I'll be able to replace him with new stock here soon enough. But he's a hardy fella. Probably best horse I've had, say, last 30 years here on the farm. Um, Now, if you want to make your way down, there are 2 riding horses. I haven't named them yet. They just came out, got dropped off by my uncle. They're pleasant enough horses. I'm not much of a rider myself. He even left some saddles fit to their shape and all that. They're broken in well. Feel free to have a look if you like.
Well, the 2 mules. Which of the 2 would you consider to be the most temperament and reliable for the purposes of riding out to see your uncle about this bear? I'm assuming out of all of them, they would be least expensive.
He blinks in confusion. Now, sir, I should warn you. It's a bear.
I mean, it's all about potential, sir, and uniqueness. See, I have this gentleman in my party that rides an elk, and it would be nice to be able to ride up and know that as great as his elk might be, I'm riding a bear. And you have to understand, the last thing that I rode was another mule, a mule that I'd been riding for many, many years. I mean, I've raised the thing from just like a small colt of itself. It's been with me almost my entire life. And
Oh my God, Bella.
By the way, Union, you are still close enough to actually hear this conversation.
Yes.
Union softly weeping into his hands.
So I have this thought in my head that if it's something as unique as a bear, I'm hoping that my companion will not be setting it on fire. Mostly because I don't think of lighting it on fire can kill it instantly, but lighting a bear on fire would probably result in like a frenzious assault on the person who did so. But also,
Excuse me a second. Set on fire. I'm sorry. What?
oh, don't worry about that. It's a thing she does. Fire, boosh.
Uh. What?
It's the whole reason I need a mount.
I see.
But the point is that all we need to worry about right now is what is the most reliable, cost-effective mount that you can provide me to potentially get a bear.
Honestly, I'd take one of the horses myself. They they'll get you there a bit quicker if that's really what you're dead set on. Like I said, it hasn't broken in on yet. Last I talked to him, that was just about 3 days ago. So.
And see, that's what concerns me, is I am not the greatest rider. And the fact that they are recently broken in, and you tell me these mules have been working for a very long time.
Oh, pretty much the staying alive. Now I can't really say which one's. They do get a little antsy if you separate them, especially Leary here. He's a bit keen on Dartha. But I let him go for 10 gold.
Both of them for 10 gold. This sounds pleasing.
I don't know if they'd make such a venture, but I'm not one to ride the mules. They are still, I'd say they probably got a good 2-3 years left in them. Not to mince words. Father always did say to keep things on the up and up. No, let the product sell itself and all that.
That sounds
they're well shod,
doable.
and I don't got saddles for them. Meanwhile, I guess Nami would have gone. She'd just now sort of be arriving, tentatively riding the war horse to catch up to you guys. Took her time to make sure it wasn't going to eat her.
Well, this is. Where did they go?
Oh, you're gone.
I'm talking to Bella.
Yeah. You realize, by the way, you've not gone anywhere near the hill she pointed out.
And was she going faster than my horse can go?
She's going as fast.
Okay.
Yeah. And you're not sure if she's holding back or what, but she does make a point to kind of stay with y'all. Not really chatty, but does seem to be having fun, just getting the road out from her feet, stretching her legs. But yeah, like I said, I ain't got saddles for them. I gave you the rope that leads them. Best I can do.
Well, what would it cost for just one of the riding horses, or even the draft horse? I'm assuming you have tact for him and saddle for him.
I've got some tact for him. I've not really used the draft as a
Well,
mount.
then we go back to I need a mount.
Okay. Well, I don't have saddles, sir. I'm not a leather worker. I'm a farmer. All right. I don't.
Well, you mentioned
ride.
saddles for the riding horses.
Have saddles fit to them. Total price altogether would run you 77 gold for the full tack, saddle, and the horse, including 2 days feed. That's the deal he wanted to sell them out at.
Well, I will take the mules for 20 gold.
Take the 2 mules.
Yes, that was right. That was 10 gold for both. Yes, I understand that.
Yes, sir.
That way we don't split them, and I will ride bareback for a few days.
Understood. Take them now if you like. Rope's right there. Holds his money out for the gold.
Holds his money out for the gold.
Hand out for the gold.
Yeah.
Come on, guys, have been drinking.
I will pay. I have 2.
Couldn't tell. Could not tell.
Yes, I will pay him, and I will ride the him and have the her follow behind.
Okay.
By rope. And I will tell Union that this is a quest that I must partake.
Okay.
Joseph, will you be able to find us again?
Yeah, probably.
Well, then I wish you the best of luck. There is the matter of money you are paid.
What about it?
Well, maybe I'm misremembering, but
You were paid up front.
Yes.
I thought that was like I thought the guys mentioned like
They would hunt us down.
yeah.
Yeah, they did.
Okay. Union would relate that to Joseph. I mean, if you intend to join us again, it may not be an issue, but if you are
Well, do you
departing,
remember how long this escort is going to take, Union?
this escort, Joseph, we marched to war against an army of the undead.
The farmer just stepping out just stops. What now?
Hello. Well, a massive army of the undead and cutthroats lies to the north, and we marshal forces to fight it.
Well, they do. I'm going to go see your uncle.
Do you know this man, Joseph? You're very keen about seeing the uncle.
I mean, he's a friendly guy. Him and his wife are very kind.
Blink, blink. I'm sorry. Could you just go back on the north? You say? For the record, it's not
Indeed.
north. It's almost it's more to the west.
Well, Union wasn't never good with directions.
Yes, north. He points west.
Oh, you see, hanging out with the
Ish. And he points north.
right. I think I gotta send a letter. Excuse me. Runs to the house. Barbara! Barbara, get your shit! Get your shit, Barbara! Come on, Patrick! Put the fucking plow down! We got to go!
Well, I believe
Suddenly,
we've
I
done a
feel
good
like
deed.
I overpaid for these mules.
I know I overpaid for my stool.
Very, very possibly. But yes, how many days do you think it would take to arrive at the meeting of war, Union?
Well, we were to travel by teleportation, so I really cannot say. Joseph, why do you want to see his uncle so bad? Unless I could hear the stuff of the mount, then.
I think you did kind of overhear some of it.
You heard some of it. You heard him talk about a bear.
Joseph, are you trying to buy a bear?
Potentially.
Barbara, I said, get your shit!
Yeah. I will gladly brag about the potential of this title.
Union.
Yes.
Got neither name right.
I literally was the last name on the so that's for some reason I just latched onto it. Union. Yes, but I will tell him that it's rare in life that you have certain opportunities. And when these opportunities arise, you have to strive to, even if you know that the chance of the outcome is very low, the small chance is worth the potential of being hunted down by your current employer. Keep in mind, I have every intention of procuring a mount and meeting you at the location that that we spoke of. Although knowing where you guys are teleporting to might help.
Right. Did he? They told us it's
Reindorf.
Reindorf.
Yes. Yes.
Well, the enemy.
And we're in Gaffin, right?
Grafen, yes.
Grafen, yes. And I'm heading north to meet the uncle.
You're heading east.
East to.
So you're heading further from Reindorf.
Yes, I know. I understand that.
Yeah, I'll move this onto the token layer. If you click it, you'll actually be able to objects tokens. If you click it, you should be able to hit Z. Actually, I have to give you the ability to click it. Oh, wait, if I hit Z, does it work for everyone?
Z?
1 second. Shift C. Is that how they did it? Nope.
Made it big on my screen.
Did it?
Yeah.
For everyone? There
You
go.
made it big.
There you go.
Yeah. So we're heading to Reindorf
Mm-hmm.
through
Currently in
teleportation. Yeah, currently in Grafen. I need to go east for 3 or 4 days to meet the uncle.
At this point, the woman comes running out. She's got a big old bag under her arms. No idea what's going on.
Well, I can certainly.
For the record, Riley, as you rode with Nami, you're arriving just as you hear the yelling. Get your shit, get out. We gotta go. We gotta get out of here. And you see Union and Joe having a pleasant conversation over by the barn.
Barn. Yes. Yes, Union. Just let them know that I will arrive at the proper hour when I am needed. Preferably riding a bear.
You're a strange Gandalf.
And if not, I will reimburse them my fee if I do not arrive in time.
Well, we shall look for you on the morning of the third day, Joseph.
How much did we get paid?
2,000 gold up
2,000
front.
gold.
Oh, well, I didn't even write that down on my sheet. So each?
Each.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
You could buy a whole fleet of bears, a whole armada.
You say that, but it takes a rather unique gentleman to actually train those bears to be ridden to the point that they are actual mounts. And I cannot ride a fleet of bears.
But you could command them.
No, I'm not a druid.
Well, I have a rendezvous to keep, and if you are headed to find this bear, you best get going, Joseph.
It's Joe's intent to seek out this uncle.
Okay. So Riley and Nami watch as Union approaches astride the elk. Joe hopping onto Leary, the mule. The farming family panically gathering up their animals, starting to tie them and get them ready to make some series of evacuation. Being told a army of the undead and cutthroats barrels down from the north. With no other details whatsoever. Now you haven't gotten directions other than it's just 3 days that away as of yet.
Well, obviously, I would get good enough directions for me to be able to find this guy.
Okay, so you flag him down.
Yes.
He's like in the middle. He's running to the barn, looking at you like, "Why the hell are y'all still? Move, please. Need to get me stock out. Fucking undead coming and all that. Oh, God's help us. I know. So starts looking. I know I'm not a praying man, but please, God, help us.
Thunder bless you.
What other good news you got for me? Huh? Did we? One of the dark ones walking again? Come on now. What? What do you need?
Well, now that you mention it, I have a friend who I believe is the son of someone scary.
You look.
He keeps talking about it.
He actually has a axe in his hand. He starts raising it like. You.
Sir,
Look, I wasn't
would
gonna
not
say anything, but
try it.
you're one of those devil folk.
Where, sir, what? You think I'm an elf? A halfling? An orc?
He is slowly raising, posturing the weapon like, I don't know what's going on.
Sir, lower the weapon. What are you doing?
Persuasion check.
Persuasion?
Mm-hmm. So, sorry, just, start talking about Dark was, and, well, actually, and then you got this friend who's, I don't even know what, probably some devil folk, like, now that I give you a good look, uh, please just leave.
Where are you and your family headed?
Well, he said north, so we're heading south.
Toward England?
South. Just south.
Yeah. You didn't open this coin pass or figure out how much money I actually had. Okay. Ewan's gonna give him 15 gold.
Blinks in confusion. Thank you.
Stay safe.
You're still blocking my door. I gotta get my horses.
The cutthroats are coming.
I gotta get my horses.
Doesn't he own your horses now?
No, he owns the mules.
I
Right
see.
there. Oh, excuse me. Is there anything else? Yeah, I have to go tell people in town. Joe, this is your. He is about to leave you. So if you're gonna ask for directions, now's a chance.
Yes. I am going to need proper directions to meet your uncle. And I'm assuming since that is east, that is technically the opposite direction of the direction of the horde of undead. Maybe you'd be willing to take me to your uncle's. I mean, where else are you going to flee to?
South? Because you said north? Well, you pointed north.
Yeah, northish.
You point like northwest again.
Yeah, northwest again. North-ish. I mean, the thing about undead is they have a tendency to travel, not necessarily in straight lines.
Right. Well, roll persuasion.
But they're that way somewhere.
Persuade him. Yep.
Yep.
No. Look, you just uh, start heading east. You'll hit. You can see it. Just you hit that hill and you just keep following it, and you go on your way, and you take all this madness and devilry with you. Me and my family are getting the hells out of here. Now,
Madness
please.
and devilry. I said nothing about summoning.
Oh dear God! Please forgive me my transgressions. And he dives into the barn, pushing past the two of you and the mules. You can hear him start pulling tack and everything to get the draft horse and riding horses together.
But I guess I'm following following his directions to try to find this guy.
Duly noted. Riley, you watch as Joe rides off astride a mule, leaving Union and the elk there. We pan the camera very quickly. Adele and Bella, it's now closing on the early afternoon at this point. There's been no stop as of yet. Before very abruptly, uh, the diminutive figure that has been leading you so far, um, stops it with a very sharp halt, and begins tracing a large circle on the ground. All right, now, if you'd be so kind, watch north and south for me. Make sure no one's coming. If they do, kill them, because why ask questions?
All right. I'll look north.
I like her. No questions asked. Just down to business. I appreciate that.
I will just look south.
Okay. As you start watching, you're out in the middle of nowhere, and you got this crazy small figure slowly drawing a very large circle, and starts making little markings across. Um, takes the better part of about an hour before she finishes what she's doing. Right then. Phase 1 complete.
How many phases are there?
Of this, 2 more.
Too bad.
Well, it's the second one that I'm worried about. And she pulls out this curved dagger and sticks it through her hand.
Oh,
You done goofed.
With the dagger still in hand, she turns it so the blade is down, and the blood starts running down, filling what you now can see small runes filling with the blood. And she starts muttering under her breath. You're welcome to try and strain your hearing, but otherwise can't quite catch what she's saying.
be perception.
Yes. Okay. Um, Blessed is the life that which flows through me. I offer up this for the expedience, that to which the greater glory can be found. Please, he who watches, and please, she who sleeps, take this, my willing sacrifice, and guide us on our way. As she finishes, just as the first drop actually falls off the blade and hits the dirt, the circle begins to glow a soft crimson, which catches your eye behind your back, just behind you, Ideal.
I will look.
As you look, she's pulling the dagger very slowly out of her hand.
Been a while since I've seen something like this.
I wouldn't relate this to any. She just kind of like gestures at your horns. Devilry.
In general.
Kind of very very eloquently wipes the blade clean. You can see the hands start to stitch back together.
That's a pretty cool trick.
I'd appreciate if you do not refer to it such way. It's practiced magics, and I've earned it with diligence.
Oh,
Thank you. Some respect, if you don't mind. I know I'm a little jovial at times, but in this, respect.
it's given.
Thank you. Now, we only need wait on the rest of your companions, which should be arriving in about the next hour or so. And all told, Phase 3 will begin. Anyone got playing cards?
Do I have playing cards?
Nami did.
Right. Tommy does.
I have an hourglass.
By all means, if you want to count the sands.
I don't.
So Riley, Nami, and Union, you do arrive at the white tree where the designated approach was, and there you can see the sour gentleman, the much larger fellow. He's actually astride a war horse, much like Nami is. He kind of looks at tiny little Nami on this big old horse, and just like, right, that makes sense. Glad to see you finally made it. I thought we said we were leaving earlier in the day, but
We encountered distractions.
yeah, happens to you adventuring type. Can't keep to a schedule anymore. I see. Where's the other fella?
He is either off in search of a magical mule or a bear.
Just squints.
You'll join us.
Oh, I sure hope so. I don't like my money going to waste. And a deal is a deal. You know, that is something we keep to very true. That does not change in Orson's time.
I vouch, Joseph.
Wonderful. Anyhow, you see he looks up at the sky. She should be about done by now. We're a little behind schedule. So we'll have to ride the mountains a little hard to make it and be on our way. At least we waste her magics too.
That is fine.
And without any other discussion, he kicks his horse into a full gallop. The large man doing similar. There you can see as they make their way down the hill, there are a few others. There's a quick hand gesture that you recognize as fast mount ride. Another continuation, something used within your times back under the skull yourself.
Okay.
So there's just that non-verbal communication. It's not as crisp as it would have been probably during your time. Seemingly a little more subtle in practice, but you manage to catch it as these figures hop on their horses and catch up. About an hour and a half later, as the crimson is starting to work its way down, and you can see the small woman now pacing back and forth in the middle, starting to just physically seem a little concerned. Well, I didn't think it'd just be the three of us, but should be fun either way. More killing for us, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go with that.
More undead.
Yeah.
And that's when you can hear the thundering echoing over the last hill, and you can see first the elk, as it is just significantly taller than everyone else, as your companions and the other mercenaries make their way over hill.
Oh, good.
thank Timora. She just hollers out, 30 seconds, you asshole! The entire contingent barely makes it onto the circle as the crimson now hits level with the ground, and the world goes dark for all standing on it. Lights once again, a blast of crimson in your face as you appear. Gotta get a little closer to make the movements. Just on River's edge, there you can see dead ahead, pun intended, the slowly shifting of a large mass of bodies. There beyond, tents posted up in formation. As you've now cleared several days worth of travel very quickly. Underneath, you can see that there is a magic circle that now begins to fade, much like the other had, before, almost as swept away by the wind, it vanishes. Right. Couldn't cut it any closer, could ya? Yeah. Elk Boy said there were some, how do you say it, distractions?
Indeed.
You can feel this piercing gaze from under her hood at you, Union. I don't like distractions.
By the way, where's Joe?
He will be joining us later, presumably with a addition of his own.
Did he ditch us? I didn't like him. Don't tell him I said that.
Temporarily, Bella. Temporarily.
Shella, and as soon as she hears do we ditch him, the small figure looks up at your
Like
primary
you
employer.
there. Calm down.
He's got time. We still have to scout, survey, plan.
He will be joining us.
You can tell he's not so much telling her no. He's trying to calm her down. Your patron's blessings, fortunately, have bought us a lot more time than we would have otherwise had. I thank you. Please, let's focus. And she seems. You look down. She's gripping two very wicked-looking daggers. He made a contract. That means something, doesn't it? Yes, he hasn't broken it yet. Yet. Let it stew and let it fester. Fine. He's mine if he breaks it. Yes, he's yours if or when, glancing at you, Union, he breaks it. Delightful. So, scouting party?
Blank, blank, blank. Okay, so who are our sneakiest peoples?
Looks down and the plate armor Union's wearing.
Nami very begrudgingly. You all probably suck at it.
And say, and I'm also in that sneaky club.
Oh, crap.
you two then turn to attempt some reconnaissance.
I mean, if no one else wants to, he did get paid, I guess. That's a. She's actually staring at the writhing mass. That's a lot more than Yeah, I want to say about twice as big as last time I was here scouting it out. Wonder if you finally killed all the civs.
God damn it, Joe. Right. So, a lot of undead there. Do we know, like, who this mystery patron of theirs might be at all?
Well, he's no one I associate with, if that's what you're wondering.
No, just in general.
Don't know. My observations were interrupted last time I was here, so I didn't get the chance to find out. I'm just glad they didn't come and break my circle.
There.
But if it were me and I was leading a army of dead, not that I would, it's a waste of resources. I'd probably keep whatever's controlling them fairly close. At least they turn on me.
Mm-hmm.
So just gotta figure out which one of those pretty little tents is our lad Orson's, and give him a nice extra smile. Yeah? Yes? No.
Yes.
Indeed.
Oh.
No, because if we kill him, perhaps we don't have the horde becomes unruly.
I ain't worried about the horde. Far as I'm told, and by your own reconnaissance, darling, you said anyone that dies in this area comes back very quickly. Orson is already quite the foe being alive. Last thing I need is for him to not really feel pain anymore. I could cut his arms off too. Stick with the plan. If it comes to it, it comes to it, but we'll be waiting. If you need us, signal. If need be, we'll start Miss Holier Than Thou, or excuse me, Mr. Holier Than Thou over here, gesturing at Union, and his other man on the cloth. Glad to have you along, Mr. I think it was Riley, if I remember correctly. We'll be
Yes.
welcome additions as we swath into the undead and see what we can do as far as thinning the numbers. But I would really much rather not fight. And you can see kind of is counting. Looks 1,000 to 1 odds.
Yeah, let's avoid that.
So don't fuck up. The army should be here probably in 2 days, but
And what numbers do they bring? Union says, looking over the board.
50 to 100, I think they said is best they can scramble together. They may have hired on some. I mean, that's coming out of Innsland, so they may have hired on some extra adventurers, but you do like to pick work that you're fairly sure you can succeed at. So I don't know how many good happy hearts there are down there. I haven't made my way in a while.
there. We should not expect them to meet the foe body for body then.
I'm hoping not to meet the foe at all. Truth be told, I don't know what kind of artifact this man's using. He's the only one I care about. I'd just rather not to fight him twice or thrice or more.
I agree, but if we have but 2 days to accomplish our objective, we should be prepared for, well, getting up close and personal.
Well, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go have some fun. She, with one of her daggers, flips it into hand and begins to carving another mark onto her hand before she draws forth that little silver ring, gives it a kiss, and vanishes. Ideal and Nami likewise disappear. Now, it won't do nothing about your smell, and it won't do nothing about your sound, so keep your fucking mouth shut and move quick. And you can see the more here as she makes it a point to stomp out of the ring in the direction to make it clear that she's left.
We will start to follow.
You know what, Joe? I'm gonna, as they are now, stealthing. Everyone needs to enjoy this.
Oh, okay.
So, I need stealth checks at advantage from you before we pan the camera away, because it could still go horrifically wrong.
This is ideal.
Oh, whoa.
And not what I wanted. Clicked the wrong button. And this is Nami.
You sure?
Yes. It says character named Nami.
Where?
Do you not
Big
see
no.
him on?
No.
Nope.
Nope.
Do you see either of them?
I see
You
yours.
see ideal.
What the crap?
See, this is why I didn't want you.
Did you not click Nami's?
No, I clicked Nami's.
No,
Is your page on self?
You have to click Nami's token, don't you?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Well, nothing. You're welcome to either print screen, throw it in the lab.
That's
or...
what I'm doing.
Yeah. What was the result? Speed it up.
27.
Okay, duly noted. You make your way very cautiously. You now don't have the gnome to follow whatsoever. You have no visual cue as to where anyone in your party is. Nami and you actually bump into each other briefly before you orient yourselves.
Ignore that. That's me clicking buttons randomly.
Duly noted. Making your way forward, you've made it past several layers of very basic undead that are kind of just like standing around, seemingly just staring off in the distance, not really doing anything. As you get further and further into the camp, you then see there are actually undead that are being commanded. They are lifting up posts, setting up more tents. You'd hear the galloping of horses, and as you realize these are not living creatures, and they are mounted, or you thought they were mounted, and that's a torso stitched onto the horse. I need Constitution saves from both of you. This is to avoid upchucking at the site.
This is Nami's.
Okay, she's fine.
And this is mine.
Okay.
Man, we are really in sync tonight,
Yeah,
apparently.
you can feel it just catch at the bottom of your throat, and you stop yourself for a second. And as they ride by, you just reassure yourself that this is fine. This is normal. And you've officially made it into the camp. There you can see there's two tents that kind of stand out. One is just significantly larger, would take up probably half of a city block. You yourself have not been to war, but it's large enough that it maybe of importance. And then there is a far more ornamental, um, very well clothed, and well manicured tent just beside it. There you can see a banner with a red skull painted upon it, flying very proudly. Under which under the skull, sort of with the skull imposed upon it, and as if the image has sort of morphed into it. You see other iconography. It looks at first almost like a undead hand that is gripping onto the skull. You try to rack your brain of any significance to it, and nothing really comes to mind. But there's that brief comfort of, well, at least it wasn't an iron tower.
Yeah.
Then we pan the camera several thousand miles away. They're a gorgeous place spanning almost the size of the town of Groffen, with fenced off areas. There are several workers that are in the middle of breaking animals, mostly horses, best you can tell, but there are also dogs being tamed. But most importantly, we narrow to a secluded set of fences, um, where you can see now Joe approaching. A gentleman who is backing away with this long pole, keeping a large furred creature at bay. There's Joe. You've already made your greeting. The man has now dodged out, tossing a fish from his vest, distracting the creature as it dives on the food and slips out. Goes to fix his hair. He is, for being at work, well dressed, wearing a simple but high quality linen shirt and very um, well tailored and to fit pants tucked into polished boots. Ah, whew, that was. We'll keep working on it. Yes, we will. You beautiful bastard. Hello there. Hello. Oh gods, you look the worse for wear. Good sir, please let's step inside and get you off your feet and off. Oh, Larry, is that you? Produces an apple and hands it to Larry, who happily chomps it down. Actually does a little dance when he gets the apple.
The bear does?
No, Leary, your mule.
Oh!
Yes. Ah, I see you've met the lovely couple. How's my niece doing? Is she doing well?
Fantastic. Great stew, I hear.
Yes. Please step inside if we're gonna discuss any business to bear. And he starts walking towards the large mansion there off the way. Traveled quite some ways. He just clicks a few times, and a hand comes rushing over and holds her hands out expectantly to take your animals and tend to them for you.
Yes, just lets them take the mules.
See, they're well taken care of. In fact, make sure Dotha gets an apple as well. She's earned it. She for the poor dear. Shocked you made it this far with those two. Still as sturdy as ever, yeah, I do hope.
Oh yes, they were quite the reliable ride. Uh, but this is such a beauty.
Are you following him, or are you just still staring at the bear?
I'm still staring at the bear.
I I'd get away before the fish runs out. I don't want him to hurt himself on the fence.
He likes fish.
He likes a lot of food, but fish seems to be his best distraction so far. Come, we'll discuss it all in full. It's, I guess, me little lad Lawrence decided to tell you about it. It's quite the passion project of mine. Got him out the mountains. Come, we'll drink, we'll talk. It's a jolly good time. I'm so glad to have a visitor.
Oh, I don't partake of alcohol.
I've got some lovely tea. I don't judge.
Tea. That's such weak. So
I've got some beans out of the north, the frozen region. Make some lovely brew. Not sure what to call it though. Bean juice.
bean juice. I mean, Joe will follow him, but
You could say he's stumbling to do anything he can to be hyper accommodating at this point.
yes, Joe is just very single-minded. Obviously.
Yeah. As you stumble forward, he catches you. I say, you look like you just. If you need, I do have one of the best guest rooms in the area, far better than you'll find at the inn.
Oh no,
nearby.
I can't even go near a bed. I might fall asleep. But I've been up for days, and I need to know
Yes.
if this bear is rideable. He's such a mighty beast. And he loves fish. I can give him all the fish he needs.
He stops and he turns and he's made sure you're at least away from, and as soon as the bear's finished eating, it starts looking around, stretches, seeing nothing to deal with, plops down in its place. I mean, it is rideable if he likes you. I've been able to ride him for about an hour at best so far. He still doesn't do well with distractions. Was the issue? That's what I was working with him today.
Just
He likes shiny things. It seems. Um, but I mean, he is still fairly wild. He's not quite as broken as I would like for any of amounts. But I mean, if you come hearing tales of my little passion project, he is going to be up for sale here. I probably need another day or so working with him, and probably working with you if let him get your scent, see if he likes you, see if he eats you. Haven't had any problems like that. Don't worry. I'm very good at what I do. I would have rather have liked to catch him as a cub, but that's probably the next foray into my battle bear training extravaganza. Yeah.
right.
Otherwise, if it's things unique, I've got some creatures from the I've got I think camels they're called here out the deserts. Came all the way across the maelstrom. Lovely creatures. They do spit a little, but they're well broken in. If it's just unique you're looking for, so I've got 2 of them up for sale at the moment. And if you're looking for large, and unique, I've got coming from way in the south. Oh, you know what? It's better if I just show you. And he like beams with pride. It starts making his way. It's behind the mansion. It had to have its own unique housing, we'll say.
I like the fact that you've used the word. So I will follow.
Right.
Show me you're unique.
Okay. He leads you. It takes a few minutes to make it around. It's a very large estate. And you can see that there is about 20 high foot 20-foot high fence. That then takes up almost another estate's worth of distance, and he leads you to a small side door. Okay. I'm not really sure where in its housing it's going to be at the moment, but it is one of my other delights. Duly noted, Union. We'll be wrapping up. If you're welcome to listen, the filling will fade to black after Joe makes his decision here shortly. But he leads you through, and the whole time he's pushing these large, very out of place trees. And you can tell when you step through the door that the temperature has shifted to a warmer climb, and you can hear. There she is, yeah. A large, brownish gray creature, massive, with two ivory tusks and a trunk, currently pulling down leaves to eat. It's an elephant.
An
Oh my
elephant.
god.
Aye. Now,
Now you did say elephant, not owlbear, right?
it is an elephant, yes.
Okay.
But when you bring him owlbear, he's like, I'm afraid I sold me last one back in Insulin, along with my displacer beast.
Mm.
Oh shit.
But I do have some eggs I'm hoping are hatched. I hate this gentleman now. I specialize, if you can't tell, in the exotics. Horses are fine and all. We do have some probably the best horses in the region here in Opabachia, but horses are horses. This is my pride and joy. Don't even feel fit. She's so deserving of respect and awe. I have not even named her yet. She is a delight. I've had her now for about 2 years. The housing is not so much for her temperament. I assure you, she's actually a loving. And you see, he's at this point. He's not stopped. He's not trying to hide. She eats a lot. So I've had to put a good fortune to make sure that her housing could produce enough food for her. At least I go broke just buying feed. Um, but she is rideable, and she is actually battle tested. A gentleman from Dinwall, the little noble, he actually had rented her, we'll say, for a battle there up by Rustway. Said she did very well.
Hmm.
I will admit the only issue, like I say, is making sure she stays well fed. Eats damn near her weight. As he approaches, she actually churs and stomps over to him and starts fussing at his hair. If you'd like to see the camels, they're back in their own pens for now.
No, I'm not interested in camels. I mean, I've been traveling for days. I
Little robot-y.
haven't slept in a long time, and I'm not gonna lie, I really like that bear.
Okay. Like I said, if you want, probably take a day or so with it, and see if it's a good fit. I don't want to. That kind of creature, I don't want to sell to you unless the creature is going to work well with you. Unfortunately, I mean, I don't want any issues on my reputation. You understand?
Oh, I completely understand that. I mean, I can give him all the fish he wants, and he looked like he was so friendly. Um, I'm willing to stay an extra couple days, although I do have this contract I should already be at, but I like so much.
All right. Well, if you want to give him an hour's rest, I've been working with him for the better part of the day already. And we, like I said, get you introduced, see if he likes you. Let you get a little of the dust of the road off. I've got a shower and everything inside. If you want to clean yourself up a bit.
Oh, a shower. That sounds so good.
Stares at you. Yeah, alright, they're fairly relaxing. Anyhow, we'll fast forward about an hour or so, whether you showered or not. He meets you back at the pen and begins to introduce you to the bear, which again, he tells you he hasn't named yet. He doesn't name them until he trusts that they're broken in, and then probably doesn't name them if they are what he feels too worthy of just being themselves to give a name. Give me an animal handling check, which, as you're aware, it's actually going to be balanced out to just normal because he is assisting you with this first one.
Okay, so this one is not at disadvantage.
This one is not, because he is going to assist you. Okay.
Okay.
So it's the bear approaches, sniffs at you. He's there with you. He talks. Actually has you hold a fish out for the bear. It takes it straight out of your hand and starts munching away happily. And he goes over the course of the next several hours, going into the evening, slowly working up to the point where finally he actually puts the saddle on the bear. Thought the bear started talking. The bear is talking. I don't know about this one. He seems a little skittish. Can I just eat him?
Talking bear. That's gotta be worth more.
But you're not helping the Joe here.
I know. Trust me, he is hallucinating like there's no tomorrow. Anyhow.
Oh, God.
So give me another animal handling as you mount up and go to get a ride for the first time. This one is at disadvantage as he's. If I don't want to seem like I'm leading you, just be bold. He likes assertiveness. Whatever you do, don't grab that tuft of fur right there. For some reason, I think he's got an old scar there. Doesn't really like it. Gets him real fired up, you know? I'm going to be
You know what?
way over there.
Joe is so committed to this that he's actually going to risk potential of falling asleep later to do this.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, I know.
Dun, 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 dun. I can feel the anticipation in everyone right now.
Plus. Oh, he wasted that.
Okay, so what's going on here?
All right, so it's the 19, but
Oh, I know what he was doing. Blessed by the gods?
yeah, blessed by the gods. Actually, it's favored by the gods, but
Yeah.
he actually called upon the favor of the gods to
Okay.
succeed.
as you say a little prayer, your hand just barely avoiding the tuft you were told not to. You're up and on the bear. It kind of wriggles a little as it gets comfortable with your weight. It's, all right, now. You'll see there, just below your knees, are some straps. You may want to strap on real quick. And the bear begins to stand up as you are told to do this.
Oh.
To wrap us up for the night, I just need a quick dexterity check to see if you are quick enough to get the straps in before the bear stands all the way up.
Okay, it'll be just a second.
If you have things to add, click dexterity check and add it accordingly.
No, I just dexterity check, huh?
Yep.
Okay. Wow.
Okay. You managed very
Fate really wants you to get this bear.
Apparently. Like, you can see the man. He is just clapping as without any hesitation. You have it was one-handed. Get the strap all the way over into the fixture that he didn't even tell you was there, but just logic dictated as it doesn't strap so much just around you, but it straps up over you and slots to sort of act as a second seat, almost like a swing seat. So it latches over your lap and under your butt and hooks onto the other side. As the bear stands up, you naturally lean forward up against it to keep your upright position. The bear does a little roar, arms up before flopping back down, and it sort of swings you back into place. Hot damn indeed, sir. I think you're a natural. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
He's such a good boy. I pet the bear.
All right. So, if you now the best part, just ease yourself on down. You unstrap yourself and crawl off the saddle. So I assume that you're sold on your prospect here. I am delighted. He seems very much to enjoy your presence. Must see something in you.
Yes, he's fantastic.
The bear actually licks and gives you this big old cow lick as it fusses up your hair. Yeah. Hi. It's been spending weeks with him. He's never done that to me. The bastard. Right. The cost of training, the cost of the custom saddle, which I highly advise you do not skimp on, otherwise, you saw what happened. As well as the bear itself will run you 1,500 gold.
Well, you're in luck, sir, because I was just paid 2,000 gold.
Wonderful. Though it is as if the fates themselves are smiling down upon you on this transaction, sir. And of course, I do hope that you will spread the good word of the masterful training that I've given this bear, and my other exotic mounts. I do not put out any advertisements. I only work off of word of mouth, after all. So, if we step inside for a moment, we'll write up the deeds of ownership and transference thereof. And then you can be on your way. If you otherwise, you are again welcome to stay the remainder of the evening. Get your rest before you are back on the road.
That's not going to be required. I'm sure I'm more than willing to be able to make it. I'm already late as it is.
All right. Understandable. Fortune smiles when he is. Get him up to a full gallop when you get out of sight of the other animals. It is
Yes.
so much fun.
It seems like the saddle that I was in was pretty much if you're in that, you don't fall off type of a situation. Is that true?
Uh, as so long as the strap is in place, you shouldn't fall off. Yeah.
Oh, sounds fantastic.
I've had my friend. He's works. He's actually the one who found me the bear. It was so friendly. He suggested I give it a try. Had him make the saddle. Fine leather worker. You can find him. He's a bit of a hermit, but you can find him out there in the mountains. I can give you a map. He does the best work. I go to him for all of my all of my necessities. Um, but yes. So the saddle comes with the bear. With it. That's part of the payment in full. Just sign here. Sign here for the ownership of the bear, and then sign here to acknowledge that this is your receipt of ownership. Once you've made your mark multiple times, he gives you a very hearty slap on the back, belying that this man is actually much more physically capable than his otherwise posh demeanor may lead you to believe. There you are, sir. You are a proud owner of a tamed and trained mountable bear. Please spread the good name of the master breeder and trainer Foxworth from here as far as you travel. And send some more business my way, huh? And that is where we fade to black.
That's amazing. But I'm good night, everyone.
Night,
Good night.
Night.
Good night.
Displacer beast and a bear.